Hey, on this sort of longer podcast, it is a longer podcast, I think. It's the third part where we actually do two processes, bringing it all together about skill stacking, skill sharing, and creating an anchor, special power anchors that you can fire off at will and create the success that you want. So remember, there's processes here. So you want to have a little bit of time and a little bit of place where you'll be undisturbed. It's not hypnosis, but you still need to be undisturbed so you can really get into it and create the life you want. Okay? Have fun. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. So pleased you're here. Your time is valuable and precious. So what I would like to do is fill that time that you share with me with the most shiny golden nuggets to help improve your life, to get your goals, your wishes, your dreams to come to fruition quicker, bigger, better than you could ever imagine. Using your imagination, using hypnosis, using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, all of that, using all things of the mind. No brain hacks, but real solid processes to deconstruct what people do to become great. And then find the processes that we can install that in ourselves to support you in your dreams and get what you really want in life. Anyway, who am I? I'm Paul Clough, and just going to have conversations with you in this podcast and get you thinking, but also share those processes because we're going to have so much fun. That's it. We're going to have fun for a change because we can sit down for a spell and have more fun than we can stand, creating the world we want to live in and be the person we want to be in that world. The only limitation is your imagination. And you got bucket loads, by the way, bucket loads. Have a listen. You really must.
Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
This is, I guess, the third part now of skill stacking and sharing, but sharing with yourself. Because this is all about you being able to transfer one set of skills, or more than one set actually, from one context or any context. They're not all the same context because we're going to stack these skills, so they're separate skills, and put them all into one, like a recipe for success. And each new thing will have a different recipe, I guess. So you can use this one through the process we're going to do and the exercise we're going to do. But then you can use it whenever you like for anything different and set up new ways. And what happens, I guess, is that your unconscious mind tends to learn pretty quickly, you know. And by doing this a couple of times, 2 or 3 times maybe, your unconscious mind gets to know the process really well and will start to do it for you unconsciously as well. It will realize there's better ways to do it by going into your place inside, wherever that is, where your unconscious mind accesses all the skills, emotions, beliefs, and all that stuff to build its own recipe. And maybe just think of going into the future and how it could be using these new skills and refining them. Wouldn't that be awesome? Imagine that. Imagine you putting the conscious effort in to do this just a little bit, and then your unconscious mind saying, yeah, if this is what you want, I'm going to access all the skills that you need for a particular thing whenever you need them. In fact, if you think about it early enough, I'll even do the process before, so we're up to date on it. We're ready to rock. What would that be like? Just think, just for a moment, what would it be like if you could be confident in your competence of doing things? And even if you weren't that confident, then you come back to this process again. What would that be like? How would your future change by you being able to be more skillful, as it were? Because you've got all the skills. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I hope I haven't bored the arse off you, by the way, by going and making this a 3-parter. I think I'll probably send this one out, not at the weekend, so we can have a new thing. But hey, you got 3 things, and each one brings their own qualities, I guess. But if you remember, let's just recap a little bit. Remember, we started off with a deeper dive, looking back at your qualities, as it were. What are your qualities? We also looked at counterexamples to the issues you're facing, counterexamples to the things that you like, say, more confidence in. You want to increase your self-esteem. Remember, let go of feeling guilty and do good things. Letting go of things like jealousy and actually celebrate and support others. And we said the list just keeps going on and on. And you put them all together with your qualities, you've got a hell of a set of resources that you come up with consciously now. But there's even more to it than that. Because if you remember, then we did a little anchoring exercise. Anchoring, remember that stimulus and response? You have that specific stimulus, and the response you get was not just confidence, but we did confidence, calmness, and an awareness, or confidence, comfortable calmness and awareness, if I remember it properly. And we found times in the past where you'd felt confident, and we anchored it by pressing our finger and thumb together, or a pad or a knuckle. Have to go and listen to that part 2 to make sure that you know, and go through that. Go through it, because once you learn the process, you've learned the bloody process. And that's the whole point of this, well, the podcast, I guess. Because if you go, oh, I know all of that, then ask yourself, well, am I doing it? Because if you know it all and you're not doing it, you don't really know it. I'll tell you that now, you don't know it, because you really know it when you start using it. And then you find out the things that you don't know and you improve upon them. Or you find out you can do it quite well, and then you make it even better, because all these things can be made even better to your own personality. And to make it your own, get it in your muscle. That's what we call it, getting in the muscle, because when it's in the muscle memory, it just happens. So we found times in the past when you were confident. We anchored it. We found times in the past where you were comfortable and calm. And we anchored that on top of that first anchor. And then we found when you were aware. We anchored that. So we had that triple set of skills into one place. We stack them. Skill stacking. I know people talk about skill stacking in the real world, where you go and learn, say, accountancy, and then you go and learn some mathematics, and then or maths, I think some people call it. And then maybe you went to learn cookery, and then you learn a bit of art, and then you learn some music, and then guess what? You can start putting them all together. Not quite sure what you'd make with that little list, but you know the thing I mean. But that's literally going out and learning new skills. What we're doing here is taking the skills that you've got already, and we're talking about skills. In some ways, we're saying about emotions, because emotions are, for me, the start of those skills. See, if you're confident, you will use the skills that you've already got. If you're comfortable, that type of thing, you will use the skills that go with comfort. If you're aware, you'll be able to access those skills easily and be aware of the surroundings, and then access the right skills to do that. That's why we stack that anchor. So that's a great one, a great general one just to have around. So because of that, if you remember, I said something, I'm sure I did, the NLP model of communication. I maybe didn't say that part, but I said your internal representation, the picture that you make in your mind of what you want, or what you're experiencing, or how you perceive the world, is connected to your emotions. And that emotion is connected to your physiology. And you change one, you change the other two. Doesn't matter which order. You just change one of those, the other two will and have to change. And that, when they all come together, they create the behavior that you actually do. And this is what we're doing. So we're using the emotions to connect with pictures in your mind, to connect with physiology, the behaviors, the skills, and coming out with a real behavior that incorporates all three. And so what we said we're going to do today, and I think I will try to edit out part of these, or maybe make it into 2 parts, is to put these onto the hypnosis tracks, the free hypnosis tracks, so you can follow along today in this episode. And then, whenever you want to come back and do it again, you don't have to listen to all me dribbling on an hour. You can just click on that. And you can download it, by the way. Download it from paulcloughonline.com podcast. You know that. And you download it, and then you do the process whenever you need it. Just on your phone, maybe, and you just listen to it. You do it. You stack it. Takes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes if we do it really well and quickly. And the more you do it, the quicker you get, by the way. Hey, so let's get started. So what I want you to do, and you might need to pause this episode just for a moment, because I want you to think of a particular thing that you'd like to do, something you maybe is coming up from your future into the now, or something you'd like to excel at. Maybe it is a meeting with somebody. Maybe it is a job interview. Maybe it's just something, whatever it is that you want to do better. Can even be going to the gym. Could be anything. Could be learning something. I just want to learn something better because I just want to improve my skills. And if I add a few skills together, I'll be able to do that. So I want you to think of a specific context. I don't want a general one because you can't visualize generally. Well, I suppose you could. But if you visualize this generally, you're going to get it's a general difference. And I want a real wham, bam, just let's have a specific thing that you excel at. Because when you do that and you excel at a specific thing, as we said before, it generalizes into other areas anyway. That's where the generalization comes in. So we don't do it generally, we do it specifically and then let that natural process generalize into good things. I gave you that story of the girl who was frightened of noises. That was back in that previous episode. So anyway, I want you to think of a specific event that you want to do differently, you want to do better. And I want you to think of 3 emotions that if you had them would make, it would be what you needed to make that event go really well. And they can be anything. We had, as I said before, confidence, comfort, awareness. It could be excitement. It could be peace. Could be calm. Could be accessing all the information. It could be movement. It could be balance. It could be connection. The list goes on. So just think of a specific context you'd like to get better at. And 3, I call them skills, but they're emotions. Okay? Because those emotions will have the behaviors, and that's our recipe. So go do that now. And when you've got those 3 things, write them down, by the way, because I'm going to ask you to, in the process, just to open your eyes a moment, have a look at it, just make sure you can remember them. Because we don't go halfway through the process and find out, oh shit, Paul, I've forgotten what I was talking about or what I'm thinking about. Okay, so we do that. And then, obviously, if we're going to do it with me now, you're going to be closing your eyes because it just takes away the distractions of the outside world. So you're going to need a place where you're going to be undisturbed. Okay? So you're not going to be driving and things like that. It's not hypnosis. Well, sort of, because you're going inside, but it's not true hypnosis. There's no induction and things like that. This is more of an NLP process, I guess. Well, it is an NLP process, not guessing, Cluffy. And therefore, you can do it eyes open if you want. I do it eyes open myself. I do it with other people, eyes open. But eyes closed, better to start off with until you get it. And eyes closed, sorry, I said eyes open then, didn't I? Eyes closed is the best way. Because I say, no distractions from the outside world, only you and your inside world. If you want to just listen to it so you get an idea, that's fine. That's fine. But you won't get as good as ideas actually just practicing it, doing it properly. Just, again, understanding the process is okay, is good. But it isn't as good as understanding and doing it. Because then when you do it, you understand it even more. Okay? So go do those 2 things. Find that one context, only one specific context where you want to do things better. Or you want to just do well, whichever it is. Something you're worried about, you want to make sure that you've got all the skills. Something like that. And then write down the 3 emotions that you like to have in that thing. And then we'll begin. So go do that now, write them down, and I'll wait for you. There you go. I was waiting. I hope you pressed pause, but never mind. You're back. You're back. So you got that specific event, haven't you? And you got those 3 emotions which will create the physiology and the behaviors and that internal. We're going to get the internal representation anyway. So here's part 1 of the process. We're going to stack the anchor. So pick a different knuckle, pick a different finger to squeeze with your thumb, or pick a different inside of the finger, whichever way and however you anchor this particular thing. We want it on a different place than the previous example, that's all. So, having decided how you're going to set this anchor, I want you to just have a look at the first emotion, the first skill, as it were, that you'd like to have. Look at it, say it to yourself, set your intention. I'm going to find the most dynamic, wonderful memory. I'm going to find that memory that represents this skill, this emotion, and then close your eyes. And having closed your eyes, I want you to recall, and your unconscious mind can help you with this too. I want you to recall a specific time in the past, a memory of the past, where you had the most wonderful time with that emotion. And as you think of that specific event, that one-time event in your past where you had that emotion, bring it to mind and go back there now. And as you go back there now, go back into your body in that memory and see what you saw. That's right, see everything you saw, the qualities of that visual. Hear what you heard. Hear what you heard on the outside and maybe even your internal voice. Hear the richness, the crystal clear clarity of what you heard. And as you see what you saw and hear what you heard, feel that feeling again. Feel it in all its richness. If you want, you can let the visuals and the auditory, the sounds just disappear as you really become aware of that feeling. And as you become aware of that feeling, guess what? You can double it. Turn it up as if you had an intensity meter and turn that intensity meter up higher and higher. So that feeling gets so intense. It's awesome. And you feel it so much, and then double it again. And as you double it again, set that anchor, squeeze that finger and thumb or touch that knuckle and say a word that's going to represent all of these emotions in one. Say the power word, as it were, the powerful anchor word that represents all of this as one. Your goal, your dream, to have what you want. And as you do that, just now let that feeling subside just a little bit. Let go of that anchor. And then now go back into that feeling again and really wind it up in intensity. More and more and more and more. So it's so high, so intense. Say the power word and touch that finger in that special place, that thumb in that special place to set that anchor. And as that feeling gets more and more intense, keep that anchor touching together, the finger and thumb touching together, squeezing together gently, but more intensely. And then just let it go. Now then, you can just come back into your body. Come back into the outside world, as it were. Open your eyes and just shake your head or shake your body. Just think of anything random and then fire off that anchor. Just to make sure that you got a really good anchor and you're firing off that feeling. If it's not as intense as you want, just repeat what we've just done. So stop the tape, rewind if you're stop the tape. Are you on a tape? Slide it back and redo this. Or if you can remember what I said, just do it there and then. Okay. Now we've got a powerful first anchor with that power word. Now, I want you to look down at your list and find the second emotion, the second skill. And as you see it clearly, just set that intention again. I'm going to find the most dynamic event in my past that represents this emotion. And then close your eyes and think and recall the most dramatic, dynamic memory of your past where you had this emotion, and your unconscious mind can help you bubble that up. And as you see that event, go back there now. Go back into your body. Back then. See what you saw. That's right. See everything you saw and hear everything you heard. And as you see what you saw and hear what you heard, feel that feeling. Feel that emotion. Notice where it's in your body. Maybe it has a color. Make it brighter. Notice the way it spins and turns. Make it faster, so it gets more and more intense. And the brighter the color, the faster it spins, the more intense. And turn that intensity meter up higher and higher, so that feeling becomes just one with you. And as it becomes one with you, so intense, set that anchor in the same place, the very same place that you set the first one, and say that very same power word together. And feel that intensity getting more and more. And as it gets more and more, squeeze that finger and thumb, that pad or that knuckle, wherever you fire it, just really set that anchor. Say that power word again and again. And then as that feeling you can just let it subside a little bit under your fingers. And then take hold in your mind of that intensity little dial, and turn it up and up, so that feeling gets stronger and stronger. The color gets more intense, the spinning gets more intense, the feeling gets more intense. And again, set that anchor, say that power word. Squeeze that finger and the pad or the thumb or the finger, whichever you do, squeeze it, say that power word, and then just let that feeling subside. And come back, open your eyes to the power word, to the power, come back into the waking world, the real world, on the outside. Have a look around. Have a good look. Maybe stand up. Just shake around. Because I want to clean the next anchor. I want a fresh mind. Now read your third skill, emotion. Set your intention to find the most dynamic memory of the past where you had this feeling, this emotion. Close your eyes. Go back there now. Recall that memory. Go back there now. Go back into your body, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel the feeling. And turn that intensity meter up. Notice where it is in your body and make it so intense. Wind it up, double it, and then double it again. Double that feeling so it's so good. And as you double it so much, so intense, set that anchor again and say that same power word. Same place, same power word. And as you feel that feeling getting more and more intense, keep squeezing that finger and thumb, squeezing that special place, and say that power word over and over again with your internal voice. You want to say it on the outside, you can as well. Just squeeze and squeeze. And then let it go. Now you know what we do now? Let's just get that intensity meter and turn it 10 times higher than it was before. And as you feel that feeling getting so strong, so intense, again, say the power word and set that anchor. There you go. There you go. And then let the feeling subside under your fingers, your thumbs, or whatever it was. And just come back, open your eyes again, a little stand up, a shake. Now, you can either keep that or you can do one more. And here's what we do. Close your eyes. And I want to ask your unconscious mind to find a fourth emotion that will, when added to those three that you've just done, would make this recipe so powerful, so wonderful. So close your eyes and just let a memory from your unconscious mind bubble up into your conscious mind. That this memory that just represents that emotion. And you might be surprised, well, you will be surprised of that memory. And go back there now. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel the feeling. Really feel this unconscious feeling. Say that power word and squeeze that anchor. This is the one from your unconscious mind, and let your unconscious mind intensify this feeling to just the right amount. And keep squeezing the anchor and say that power word, and then thanking your unconscious mind for that. Just let it go. All together. Stacking the skills. And then open your eyes and we're done. We are done in setting that anchor. Now, it's good to check, good to test. We've now got one. What I want you to do, just for a moment, for no reason whatsoever, now you've shaken it off and thought about it, I want you to say that power word and fire that anchor. Just notice how you feel. I know you'll feel different. And it'd be weird because it's a mixture of all four now. So they might feel a little weird, but a good weird. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Say that power word and squeeze that anchor. Now, we know it works. So here is the second part of this third part, as it were. So we've got a recipe. We've got an anchor that will fire off those resources. So what I want you to do now is to really notice how well it works. So we can see it in our mind's eye, working. So when it comes into the now, that event, you just know it's going to go so well. And you will fire off the anchor anyway, just before it. But here's the thing. I want you now to close your eyes and think of that event that you want to have differently. And just freeze the frame for a moment. So you're looking at yourself over there, just about to start that event. And as you press play, fire that anchor, say that power word, and watch that you in that memory, that future memory, go through that event just the way you want it to be. Notice how that you out there just goes through that event so wonderfully well. And it's not in real time, you just know that it's going through. And then as you do that, let go of the anchor and just let it run by itself. And then just press pause for a moment. Good to pause, to stop. Rewind it to the beginning. Just think of that start again. Maybe a minute or two before that event has started. And float into your body just before that event has started. Fire that anchor, say that power word, and look through your own eyes as if this is happening right now, and go through that future memory right now with all these resources. And notice how well it works. Notice how safe you feel. Notice how successful it is. And learn at the unconscious level to make it even better. Go through that memory to notice this is the way to keep you safe. Notice the success you have. Notice how good it feels. Be the observer of you. Going through that event in the most successful, wonderful, safe way, the most comfortable way. And feel that success. Say that power word now and again as you go through it with your internal voice. Fire that anchor off every now and again as you go through that event, making it even more stronger. And say to your unconscious mind right now as you're going through this future memory in your mind, this or something better. This or something better. Thank you. And as you do that, just come back into your body, into the real world again. Let that future memory just disappear to where it needs to go. So when it comes into the real world, into the now, you will be prepared. And open your eyes. Now, the only thing you have to do now, you don't have to, you can do that a couple more times if you wish. It was really, really quick. But once you get the hang of it, you can do it as long as you like, but you only have to do it shortly, quickly. Unconscious mind learns really quickly when you've done that a few times, if you want to. Just before the real event works or happens in your life. So you know you're going to that thing and it's 2 or 3 minutes before you're about to start, whatever it is. I want you physically to fire the anchor, to say that power word in your mind, and then let things go, saying this or something better. And then go through that event. without doing anything else. Just go through that event and enjoy it. Be successful. And at the end of it, maybe just before you sleep, you look back in your mind's eye over the day and notice how well it went. And just have that sense of gratitude to say thank you to your best friend, your unconscious mind, and your conscious mind for going through all of this. And maybe a little thank you to Cluffy. And just notice you can do this whenever you choose. For any event, you just set up a different anchor. Set up a different anchor with 3 or 4 resources, and then visualize it going the way you want it, firing the anchor just before you start it. And that anchor would be in a different place for a different event. Or maybe you want that same type of thing for a similar event. So you just fire off that same anchor if you know it's going to work. And just remember to fire off the anchor before it actually happens in real time. There you go. I will see how this could be edited out and put it into the hypnosis programs. They're going to be free for downloading. And also, if there's anything I didn't explain properly, do let me know. Or anything you'd like to maybe, if you have an issue about something and you'd like to explore different processes. Maybe something we've done in the past to make it more clearer or something new. Let me know. Simply email me. Email me at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Okay? That's all you have to do. It comes to me, no one else. And then we'll find something, and you know we will. There may be something in the past that I can just draw to your attention and we're all done. So there you go. That's my thing. Do share this if you could. Share the first one and then the others. But it'd be great to get people to do and fire off their best and have success. Because when we're all firing off at our best and having success, what a lovely world it is. And we're supporting each other that way, aren't we? With no want for anything in return, selfless service. Hey, come on, do that stuff. You know, when we talked about that feeling of guilty, we didn't ever do that because now we are really doing the selfless service by praising and supporting others for doing good works. And they're going to be supporting other people, if only by being that example of what truly is available to everyone, what can be done. There you go. If you wanted to have something more detailed in the way that, like, to get complete inner confidence, please go to paulcloughonline.com and you'll see I've got some premium, I call them premium, but they're paid for hypnosis programs. So there's Supreme Inner Confidence. I call it Supreme because you have to say words like that, but it's just getting the real inner confidence that will allow you to do whatever you want. There's Free Your Life of Anxiety. That was the first one I did. And there's 1 or 2 premium hypnosis tracks there, which I think they're pretty awesome. There's one which is really good. It's all about creating like a mind palace where you can go and do stuff. A bit like this. Anyway, that's just a little thing. Have a look at it. See what you think. Let me know. And if you're a member of the hypnosis downloads thing, you'll know that you get a massive discount on that. And there's a money back guarantee, so you can't lose. It's a win all the way home. Anyway, until the next time, my friend, I hope you enjoyed a 3-parter this time, and I didn't bore the ass off you. Hey, I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I just know you are going to be so successful in those things that you've practiced. But do practice. Don't just go and listen. 2 things about that. One is it's boring if you're just going to listen and pretend you know it all. But also, it's a waste of your time. And why would you do that? If you're going to listen, do the process, and then do it in the real world. And then you really will be having more fun than you can stand. More success than you can have ever dreamt of right now. Anyway, it's time to fly. If you don't know where the hypnosis tracks and the NLP processes are kept so you can download them, here's an important 90 seconds that'll tell you just where and how to find them. So, the 90 seconds of hypnosis tracks. Why have I put hypnosis tracks on a separate website? Well, it's so simple really. I wanted you to have them all in one place so you can look through them all. You can find the particular one you want. I've even made them downloadable so you can put them on any of your playing devices that you prefer. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need the iTunes or whatever. You can put them anywhere you like. You can even burn them onto disk if you want. Where do you get them? Well, there you go. I told you it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. If you're worried about your email address, please don't be, because they stay totally safe with me. I only use them to send you out that email and give you access. Simple as that. I send you a link, a special link, so you and only you can access those hypnosis tracks, because I want them just for you. And the other thing about this is you've taken responsibility. I don't want to make these open to everyone, just random. You have taken responsibility to listen and be part of this community of personal development. And I want to help you. I want to help you personally to get your dreams, your goals. And therefore, I'm giving you these tools, these protocols, these paradigms, whatever you want to call them, but in deep hypnosis. So just enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand with hypnosis.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.